mean? Bhakti comes out of... Bhakti is very independent. And this is also one of the meanings of on this whole section, what the Krishna Das Kaviraj is saying here, that bhakti cannot come out of great scholarship, because Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was a great scholar, but still, it's not because of that he became a devotee, but because of a mercy of devotee, mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu goes so far to say, it is not because of my association, but because if you associate with Gopinath Acharya, who's a my devotee, because of his association, you become a devotee. And then Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya says, okay, I surrender. He's not forced, he feels freely. And Prabhupada says, without being pressured. So there is no pressure. There's no pressure. Surrender or you'll die. Or there's no pressure, no twisting. It's out of his own free will. That's a very important point for bhakti. But bhakti can come, it's out of own volition, like love. Love develops naturally and spontaneously. In third canto, chapter 9, verse 33, Prabhupada writes on the same point. He says, in transcendental loving service, the servitor is as free as the Lord. The Lord is Svarat, or fully independent. And the servant is also fully independent, or Svarat, in the spiritual atmosphere, because there is no forced service. There, the transcendental loving service is due to spontaneous love. So that's the first important fact, that we need to be free. Bhakti comes out of own volition, out of someone's heart. That's the first point. But in order to surrender, or in order to do bhakti, we need to have, what's the condition? What's the precondition that comes before that? How do we surrender to somebody, or how do we feel that there is something to surrender to?
Knowledge.
There has to be knowledge, yeah? Faith. In other words, there needs to be some trust. There needs to be trust. That's what comes before that. There needs to be trust. And you feel that how Prabhupada dealt it's really amazing when he came to the West, how he dealt with with all of his disciples, how much trust he had in them, and how if we as leaders think about this point, how important that is, having trust is in those that we are supposed to lead as leaders. Can you just imagine Prabhupada from America sent just 4 couple of grihastas to London to open this temple, to open a center in London. They didn't know much they didn't have much knowledge. If you remember before, Prabhupada was very proud of them, because previously in the early 1930s, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati said, send his top sannyasi disciple to London, and this sannyasi was unsuccessful. But Prabhupada sent his grihasta disciples who had fairly basic training in Vaishnavism, and they managed to establish a temple. They felt empowered by Prabhupada, because Prabhupada had amazing trust in them, and he gave them a lot of freedom to express their bhakti in a free and spontaneous way, which also has some. We'll come to this later, because I see Jnanitai, freedom and leadership. It's a difficult point, but it's a very important point. We'll come to this balance point later. And also, if you think, there's a very nice example of trust in Ramayana, when Rama is on the shore of India, and his army is there, and all the monkeys are there, and Hanuman is there, and Sita is in Sri Lanka, and Ramachandra wants to send Hanuman there to check how Sita is doing, or to kind of reassure Sita that, don't worry, I'll come soon, I'll be there, don't worry. And what he does, does somebody know what Ramachandra gives to Hanuman?
The ring.
He gives him the ring. Why? Because he wants Sita to know that's Ramachandra's message. Hanuman is Ramachandra's messenger, because it's not just an ordinary monkey coming and doing monkey business with me saying, no, it's actually Ramachandra's messenger. Can you imagine if Ramachandra would say, oh, I cannot give you this ring, you're only a monkey. How would Hanuman feel? Because, oh, you don't trust me? Come on. How would Hanuman feel about this point? I said, oh, he's just a monkey. You cannot give a ring to a monkey. But no, Ramachandra had this trust. And then when Hanuman showed this ring to Sita Devi, then she said, yeah, this is Ramachandra's message. Because trust, having trust in those who are, let's say, under us in a way, it's a very empowering quality. It empowers one to do really amazing things. Hanuman was empowered. Another important aspect is, I'm just going very briefly to this, because it's we can really go into this for a long time. But we discussed in the beginning that in order to perform bhakti, we need to be free. The practitioner needs to be free, but the precondition for this is trust. But then, in practical terms, there needs to be some parameters. Like, for example, in this country or in every country or most of the countries, we feel free. In a way, we can move around, we can go around, as long as we fulfill our duties. We pay our taxes, council tax, we pay a fare, and for a tube we can travel. We can freely travel, but as long as we fulfill our duties. So similarly, in devotional service, there needs to be this room for spontaneity, for freedom. Then bhakti can come, as long as we fulfill our duties. That's an important balance. That's an important balance. Very important balance. Otherwise, it's a misuse of freedom. We all have different duties in terms of our ashram, in terms of our position, in terms of our standing. We all have different duties, but there's an important balance there. Like in the state, if we break our duties, we lose our freedom. We lose our freedom. We are put in a jail or something. We lose our freedom. So there's an important balance as long as we perform our duties. If you think how to apply this principle in management, and if you think about Krishna as being supreme authority, what makes Krishna the supreme authority? Why he is the supreme authority in the universe? Why he is the supreme authority? What do you think? Because he can punish everybody?
Because he's the most attractive.
He's the most attractive?
Because he's the most trustworthy.
He's the most trustworthy?
He's not bound by duty.
He's not bound by duty?
He has all 6 opulences at largest.
6 opulences.
Of course. All of it is true, but I'm aiming one specific point.
He's God.
He's God, yeah. He's God. He's God.
He performs duties when he descends.
Okay, he performs his duties. Something from the ladies' side also. Why is Krishna the supreme authority?
Because he's always right.
He's always right, yeah. Yeah, I guess he's always right, yeah. Yeah, he's always right, by definition. Sometimes he's chastised by gopis or stuff.